So this is my last chance. Well, my last attempt at getting a PS5. It's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, but let's see what happens. So it's been almost 15 minutes. Yeah, I think unless you're here when it starts, you're screwed. Yeah. They're all exactly the same almost. Yep, there we go. Let's see, started at 5:15. So a little less than half an hour later. Wasn't even close. So the rationale behind having multiple browsers, multiple devices, is that they claim that it doesn't make a difference in the queue, but from what I saw, it actually does. You just gotta make sure you use a different browser. In our case, we're using several different machines, laptops, and cell phones. And again, we have noticed that there is a difference. Some will load faster than the others. I think it's just by chance. Okay, so once the queue clears up, you're brought into this nice page where they tell you that it's out of stock. Well, but for 30 minutes, or close to 30 minutes, it wasn't too bad. It's actually a lot better shot than you have compared to the other retail sites out there. Your best bet is to really go into the Sony website. Under your profile, they have an option for notifications. You want to make sure that you select these two. Reason being is that you might get an email direct from Sony, and if that's the case, you'll be invited to a queue that's more, has a lot less people, I assume, so you have a lot better chance of actually getting a console. But in my opinion, the normal queue through Sony Direct is still the best bet, simply because they have the CAPTCHAs that prevent a lot of the bots. Well, supposedly keeps the bots from nabbing as many of the consoles. There's also a limit, one per address, so I'm sure it won't fool everyone, or it won't prevent everyone from doing bad things, but at least they're trying. Sony Direct was probably the closest I got to nabbing a PS5 console. As soon as the queue opened up, we only had 24 minutes. Once I got in, placed it in the cart, and as soon as I was about to hit checkout, it sold out. The only drawback of this Sony Direct site is that they seem to only have drops every few weeks, whereas the other retailers seem to have weekly drops. But like I mentioned, during any one drop, it will last close to 30 minutes, which I think is a good trade-off. This would definitely be my number one pick. My second choice would be Gamestop, only because sometimes they have bundles, which makes it a little easier. The flip side is that the bundles are a lot more expensive. They had a digital edition on this site for almost half a day, but I think you're paying $600-700. The only difference was they included an extra controller and 2 games that I didn't really care for. But if you really needed it, that was probably the most sure way to get it. Target was a good site. I tried it several times. Has the typical issues of all the bots bombarding it at the same time. I think when I try to hit my credit card information, it would just bounce, but that's pretty typical. The larger issue was, for some reason, they locked out my account. This is actually not my Target account, by the way. It's just for an example. But my real account is locked out, and I've talked to tech support for almost a day or two or more. Each time they say they fixed it, but I'll go back and try to log in, and I just keep getting this error message. But had it actually worked, this would be my number 3 choice, or the third choice. Best Buy is my fourth choice. They also have a queue. It definitely does not work as well as the Sony Direct one. I've also gone through most of the checkout. Again, same issue. Once you hit place order, it brings you to some sort of error saying that there's no stores within 250 miles. And I think this is common with a lot of people who've complained online. Unfortunately, since you have to do store pickup, they sell out really quick. But, if you're lucky and you're one of the first ones, it might actually go through. The last two websites I would resort to is Walmart and Amazon. Kind of both for the same reasons. Once they sell out, you're stuck with resellers who want over $1,000, which is ridiculous. But in my opinion, Walmart is the worst because they have this CAPTCHA that doesn't work for me. As soon as the stock is available, it'll tell you to, click the pictures of the traffic lights, cars. But it never works for me. It just keeps loading, and then after 5 minutes, everything's sold out. So for me, Walmart has just never worked. The website hasn't worked for me whatsoever. In terms of Amazon, I just never seen it in stock whatsoever. I heard that they sometimes do it in the middle of the night when I'm sleeping, and I don't got time for that. Again, it has the same issues with the reseller. Sometimes, as soon as it's sold out, it'll default to a $1,000 console, which is not what you want. But, if you're lucky, you might be able to nab one there, but I definitely wouldn't count on Amazon. I've been following Matt from Tech Radar. He's really nice to announce these, drops, restocks. It doesn't make it any easier, but if you have push notifications to your phone, it might help out. Do note that it's for PS5 and Xbox, and the graphics cards for that matter. So after today, I'm actually going to stop because I'm tied up with work and just don't have the time to keep tracking all the notifications. Other than that, I'm still on the PS4. I don't think this is the Slim, but I have the Destiny edition. Still works fine. Maybe by the time I get my hands on the PS5, they'll have a mid-cycle Slim edition. Given the chip shortage, that wouldn't be too unlikely. But yeah, I recently finished a home theater build. The console wasn't a necessity, but more of a nice to have. So for all of you who've been looking since the launch, good luck, and I'm sure you'll get it eventually. But for me, it's not as big of a deal. So I feel bad for all the parents whose kids really want it. I really feel for you, and hopefully you'll get it soon. I think in my case, I'll just get whatever comes first, whether it's Xbox or PS5. In my case, I have a Atmos setup, so I think only the Xbox S would take advantage of that. Like, I have Forza Horizon 4. Definitely wouldn't mind trying that out. But that's all. Everyone have a good weekend and good luck.